way she put her hand on that pickle. Up and down as she licks that pickle. I like the way her lips look around that pickle. Sucks the juice right out that pickle. She popped the fridge open and she grabbed a jar. Those pickles ain't gonna get far. When she runs out, she has more in the trunk of her car. One day she wants to own her own pickle bar. She likes sweet pickles, but she loves the deal. Cause the fatter the bigger, she likes the way that it feels. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between meals. Her poop must look like a pickle for real.
I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that kosher. Walk into her patio, find pickle posters. Tongue action, keep composure. Once the juice drips, you know it's all over. Continuous motion from top to bottom. Up and down, you know she want 'em. No pickle that she will reject. This a pervert act, no gag reflex. Once in her mouth, she cannot eject. Tip my hat, she deserve my respect. Detect the vibe that feel like sex. She leave that pickle all nice and wet. I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle.
Lick, lick, lick that pickle. Lick, lick, lick that pickle. Lick, lick, lick that pickle. Lick, lick, lick that pickle. Lick it, lick it, lick it, lick it like that. Lick it, lick it, lick it, lick it like that. Lick it, lick it, lick it, lick it like that. Lick it, lick it, lick it, lick it like that. Lick, lick, lick that pickle. Lick, lick it, lick it like that. Lick, lick, lick that pickle. Lick, lick it like that.
I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. I like the
All right,
way
boys
she
and
licked
girls,
that
getting ready
pickle.
here.
Up and
Pigs
down,
Radio
she
on a
licked that
Wednesday.
pickle.
Lick
Up
that
and down,
pickle.
she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. She picked up a pickle to squeeze and lick. You'd think it had nicotine, this chick can't quit. When she don't get her fix, she throws a fit.
She licks at different speeds from slow and quick. Get that skinny thing out of here, she likes them thick. Everybody pay attention as she licks the tip.
She don't lick any pickle, she takes her pick. When it tastes the right way, she don't spit. Takes it down, swallows every bit.
Watch the pickle vanish, magic trick. Once you get the grip of it ain't gonna slip. Michael Jackson would be like, this is it.
I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. She can lick that, lick that, lick that. 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 I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. I like the way she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked that pickle. Up and down, she licked.
And we're live, but we're not going to do that music video because we already took a little bit of time. So you know what? We're going to go straight into the intro here and then kind of talk about what just happened because, I don't know, like it's...
That was an honor.
Yeah.
Compton,
California.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end.
You're listening to Pigs Radio, broadcasting live from a secret location in Compton, California. The talk show that makes psychiatrists see other psychiatrists, other psychiatrists, other psychiatrists, other psychiatrists.
Other psychiatrists. This is a very special Pigs Radio. Let me tell you why. Because we're mid-hump day. We are here on a Wednesday at a 6 p.m., which we don't normally do, but
we do
today...
not.
right in the middle of the hump.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, mid-hump, I'm not going to lie. Kind of like that.
I see it in your eyes.
I think that's all you fucking see.
Yeah, man.
We want to apologize to everyone who was logging in. We had a music playing by the Time Seekers, the good friends of the Pigs Radio. Lick that pickle. Make sure you guys check their stuff out. Bob Logic out there still producing music. We need to have those guys back in. Not to mention they're associated with that awesome beer, St. Moth Brewing Company. So go check our boys out. Once again, we want to thank everyone for logging in. We see everyone on the chats. We see everyone logging into to the YouTubes and Facebooks and Twitters and everything else in between. So thank you guys so much. But Pigs Radio on a Wednesday. We were supposed to start, and then all of a sudden, like as soon as I'm about to hit and go over to the, and to do the first opening words.
Yeah, as soon as you open your mouth, it was just like.
Now
It was Jose.
I know all you fucks like to blame me for everything that happens here, but that was totally not my fault.
Oh no,
man.
Totally not. I'm hoping that all these.
But it wouldn't be pigs.
It would not be pigs if it was.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Well, on a Wednesday night, 6 p.m., it is Pigs Radio, episode 376.
76.
We've been having some awesome and amazing guests as of lately. The conversations that we've been having have been super raw, super real, all kinds of things. I mean, from just music to spiritual to ghosts to things that bump in the night, and that kind of opened the doors with the Hazy Chaos Scary Encounters podcast that opened the doors to our conspiracy ones. And then we had the girls back on, but along those lines,
we've just become more woke.
We have.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Well, Guaps never went to bed.
Guaps has been on for quite a number.
I've been away for all these days,
He is the Pigs Radio cinematographer. He gets all the close-ups of all the bands, especially all the crotch shots. Let's give it up for El Guapo. You can find him on Instagram. Follow him, El_Guapo_Pigs Radio. What's up, Guaps?
What's going on?
Underscore that ass.
Underscore that ass. You have a lot of amazing photos, so congratulations on all the work.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds
Thank you.
great. Looks great. I can't wait to see what kind of wrestling things we can get ourselves into.
Absolutely.
Get some stuff.
Absolutely.
And on Tuesday nights, you can catch him on Twitch playing video games and dying all the time. I don't think I've ever seen you win, but it's all good.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. You jump in mid-game. You don't get to see the ending. At least stay for the jokes. I'm funny.
Stay for the jokes.
I may not win, but I'll make you laugh a few times for within the 5 hours that I'm on.
There we go. So follow him on Twitch at Zack Rabbit Lopez. All one word, no underscores on that.
No underscores. We keep it on top.
No.
And holding it down here for 11 long years, the longest running podcast out of the city of Compton. I am Mario 81. You can also catch me on Tuesday nights with a new podcast group called the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast, featuring Super Steve Flores of the world famous K-Rock and that funny comedian guy, that dude Johnny C. So check us out on Tuesdays. Tuesdays.
Yes, sir.
But today's Wednesday.
Today is also Mario Day.
It is Super Mario
Day. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be giving out free points all day for everyone, like just because it's Mario. Just because it's Mario.
There it is. And what's going on today, Mario?
Today,
besides it being Wednesday,
today we have an amazing guest. We want to welcome to the show, Mr. David. I'm gonna hopefully not mispronounce this. Weiss.
You did it.
Yeah,
Weiss like nice.
David, nice. David Weiss, thank you so much for being on the show. Once again, after our conspiracy theory episode that we had, another door opened up, the back door, if you will, and it kind of started conversations. We were reached out by God knows who, maybe the people who fucking just made the whole lights turn off. I don't know, but they, in some weird capacity, the universe has made us cross streams, and you are here today on Pigs. Talking to us all the way from Connecticut. We have you on via the Zoom, so everyone's getting the full cinematic experience that you can possibly get to someone visually stimulated.
Looks like he's out in space somewhere right now. Right?
I know.
That's how he knows. This
is just 120,000 feet, and that's where the sun is when you're that high.
Ooh.
Right there. It's not 93 million miles away. It's right over the flat Earth.
All right. Right into it, huh?
That's how high I get, so I understand that. That's on that level.
Pigs math.
David, he's been on so many shows. You've been on Talk with Jericho multiple times. The tinfoil hats. All kinds of interviews have you done, and the topic of today's show is about Mother Earth and it being round, as we've been taught for many years, versus being flat. So we're going to learn that. We're going to open up the phone lines today. We're going to learn. We're going to get some questions in, and We're gonna figure some shit out. You ready, Wops?
I have questions already, my man.
Zach, you ready?
Dude, I'm just here for the fucking ride, bro.
I saw. I didn't want to get into too many interviews because I wanted this to be raw and fresh for me. But I will tell you, I saw that Jericho interview.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. That's the one I was like, oh, we definitely need to have him on. Yeah, that was a good one.
I love me some Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I love everything that he does, and he has all kinds of cool guests. And I know he does his own podcast, Talks with Jericho, and from wrestlers to paranormal, just all kinds of cool shit. But that interview was very, like, holy shit. Like, at the very end, I'm like, wait.
I was almost convinced.
I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Why do you think you live on a ball? Can you come up with one reason?
I was born here.
You were born.
I was born on the ball.
I was born on a ball. I have never traveled into space. I don't know what these things look like from afar. I just know when I'm laying here and I see the moon up, it's round.
Right.
And you know,
look up the lights in your ceiling. Do they tell you what shape the floor is?
no,
I don't think so. No, do they?
They don't.
I don't know.
And the question is the moon round? Are these spheres? Is this a sphere? It's actually. Is this one a sphere?
Oh,
Before she grabs it, what do you think? Yes or no?
that one looks differently colored than all ones. I'm gonna say no.
That one's flat.
What about this one? Is that one the sphere?
Nah, that one's like an egg shape.
That one's a tortilla, dude.
That's a tortilla.
That's a cup. You can't tell what the shape things are above you, and the shape has no bearing on the floor. The pool balls on the pool table don't tell you what shape the pool table is, do they?
No.
No, they don't.
So
it's all about perspective.
So the things that we see in the sky are not as Disney tells us they are.
Right.
Fucking Disney. See, they never prepared me right, and I believe any of their goddamn stories. Holy shit. So just based on that, I can already tell you it's gonna be a wild fucking ride today, and I'm super stoked. Like,
he already blew your mind.
For everyone listening, I'm offering a Bitcoin for one globe proof.
One Bitcoin, if you can prove that the world is round.
No, one proof of the globe. Just one reason that you should believe you live on a ball. Just one, not 10, not 20, one.
Well, Zach said he was born here, but I don't.
I don't think that's a valid answer.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna take that. Anyone? Because I don't got anything.
I mean, I have questions, but I mean, listen. What I want to hear first is why we live on a flat Earth. What makes it flat, not square, not a sphere? So how?
Well, the shape doesn't matter, but you know, if the Earth was a sphere, there should be a physical horizon, but they tell us it's 24,901 miles around at the equator. There's a curvature formula. At 10 miles, there should be a 66-foot drop, but there's not. There's no drop. I can sit on the water's edge with my camera, zoom in on a buoy that's over 10 miles away, and see the whole buoy. We've done laser tests farther than that. We've done all sorts of observations.
Who is we?
The problem is, you know, things get smaller and smaller. The air is thick, and it's hard to see things at great distances. But we can see entirely too far for the Earth to have any curvature.
Yeah. So Zach was asking, like, who's we? Is this an organization or a group?
No, it's just people that have decided to question what they call science. You know, people say, "Hey, you flat earthers are anti-science." Actually, we're pro-science. It's the people that believe the Earth is a globe that are anti-science. They use the word science, physics, but that doesn't mean anything. They use math equations. We don't live in a math equation. You know, I can do a math equation that says you have $50 million in the bank. I don't think you have $50 million in the bank. So pseudoscience is what astronomy is. You know, everything that NASA tells us is pseudoscience. It's not provable. And we catch them making mistakes all the time and faking space. If you catch NASA on the International Space Station just once, faking faking zero G by hanging from wires, you can unwind that all the way to we never went to the moon.
So do you believe that the first moon landing was faked?
I'm having a hard time hearing you. What was that? You're a little mumbled.
Was the first moon landing faked?
Every moon landing was fake. The moon isn't even a place that you can go. If you look at the moon, it is within the Earth system. It's small, it's close, and it's right above the clouds from our point of view on Earth. we see it in a position relative to our own position. But here's an example that shows you that this guy is a liar. This is the dusty, dirty ball that we call the moon. But
Right.
this is what the moon looks like on a full moon night. So if you're away from any city lights, you can read by this. You cast shadows on the ground. You can navigate. You can drive on a road with your lights off because the moon is bright enough. Does this look like it's shining light 238,000 miles away,
No.
all the way back to Earth?
No, but you know what? To be honest with you, I mean that looks like the moon when I take a picture from my phone. That doesn't necessarily look like the moon when I'm driving. I've never
When
seen
you're
the moon
out, when
that
you're
bright.
standing outside in the dark on a moonlit night,
Right.
you're visible. It's casting a shadow on the ground. Does this amount of light look like it could cast a shadow on the Earth from its light? This is a dusty, dirty ball.
Right.
None of this is real. And also, if you go out on a moonlit night where there's spotted clouds, you'll notice only the clouds that are right next to the moon are lit, and all of the other ones are dark. If the moon was 238,000 miles away, all of them would be lit equally if
Right.
the moon could shed light on all of them. But it can't. It's only lighting the clouds that's right next to it.
So
God damn!
Mind blown.
I'm only like 5 minutes into this. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Goddamn, he's absolutely right.
so what is the moon in your theory? What is up there? What
It's made out of cheese.
What do we
Fucking
make?
Cheese.
Wallace and
It's
Gromit.
cheese. So
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the moon's plasma. There was a scientist in the 1950s that he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. But when there's a new moon, it's gone. There's
Right.
nothing there.
Yeah.
So no person or no plane, no one from the International Fake Station, nobody has photographed the moon when it goes new in less than like 40 or 42 hours later. That's almost 2 full days. Where's the moon? During a new moon, if you're on the moon looking at the Earth, you have a full Earth, like a full moon. So the Earth shine, which is bigger and brighter, should light up the moon. Somebody should be able to see it. No one's ever seen it. So what is the moon? I'll tell you what the moon is. It's the biggest mystery on Earth.
Holy shit.
Uh,
He doesn't know. Well, I mean,
well, my thing is just like I see the moon. I believe them. I mean, it's there. Obviously, it's there. We can't deny that it's not there.
right.
Well, it could be a projection into our reality.
Oh,
we don't know,
you know what?
the hell it is.
I
We don't know what it is, but like during an eclipse, no one has ever, a solar eclipse, nobody has ever seen the moon approaching the sun or exiting the sun. We just see something eclipsing the sun.
Right,
And
right.
that makes no sense. During an eclipse, especially a total eclipse of the sun, the amount of earth shine should light up the moon and we should be able to see it, right? Because the sun's totally blocked out. No one's ever seen it. No one's ever seen the moon blocking the sun. So what is it that's blocking the sun? We don't know.
the alternate
No,
universe.
because I think I did hear you speak about this on one of your interviews where you were saying it was kind of like a hologram, I guess, which it's not real. It's not really there. It's a projection of something being there.
I don't know if the hologram. It could be projected into our Earth system.
Right.
So I'm not 100% sure what it is. No one really knows what it is, but it's not a rock falling around the Earth. Think about this. This is not the scale either, because if this was the scale, this would be tiny and it would be a block away from me, right? A block away from me that way. So the Earth, the gravity of this gassy ball somehow is holding on to this rocky ball. And this ball is falling around the sun, around and around, and it never changes. This rocky ball is being held by this slightly bigger rocky ball, and this one is falling around that one, around and around and around. When the moon goes in between the sun and the Earth, how come the sun doesn't rip it away, or at least tug it just a little bit? How come the gravity of the other planets, when they all line up, doesn't tug on something else? None of them ever tug on anything. There's a thing called the three-body problem. You could take the world's best supercomputer and make a little model. You say, all right, I've got a sun, I've got a little planet, put them in orbiting around each other, and the model will just go forever, and you can predict where it's going to be perfectly. You add one more object in there, another moon or another planet orbiting one of those, and the entire model falls apart, never repeats itself, and it never repeats itself. So you look at our system, everything in the sky is on a perfect cycle. You go out tonight, look at the stars. Next year, same night, same time, those stars will be in the exact same position. The exact same position. And meanwhile, We've traveled, billions of miles, corkscrewing through an infinite vacuum, impossible universe. Insanity. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, right? When you watch the sunset, you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. That's what you have to believe. You're corkscrewing, chasing the sun at, over 500,000 miles an hour. You're orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, and that entire system is moving sideways at like 1 or 2 million miles per hour. You guys know about the Georgia Guidestones?
No, what's that?
Georgia Guidestones in Georgia in the United States. There's a Stonehenge-like monument that have basically the New World Order marching orders on it, but there's a little hole in the middle one. And if you look through it, you will see Polaris, which is the North Star. It's been up for over 40 years, and Polaris has never moved. You do a time lapse, it looks like this. All of the stars are circling around it. How can we be corkscrewing through the universe, traveling trillions of miles, and this star never moves through that hole?
Well, I mean, isn't that old light that we're getting through there? I mean, that's apparently like a lot of the stars that we see at night, they're already dead.
Doesn't matter if it's old light. That's a nice story. It's a ridiculous story.
Nice story, Wops.
I mean, that's well, that's what I heard.
But even if it was, how is it keeping up with the movements of the Earth? How is it ever lined up with it when we're corkscrewing, in 6 different directions at once?
Well, I mean, in theory, we're not keeping up with it because it's old light. It's like billions of years away. It's just light that's barely entering.
Billions of years away. How is it? We were still corkscrewing back then. How did it line up? How did it stay in line with that hole? Try looking through a straw at something while you're driving down the road. Okay? There's no way you can do that, and you're only moving in one direction.
Damn. Yeah. Boom. Right. Damn, man.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Wops. Where's your straw at?
Fuck, I don't know. Here you go, right here.
God damn, like, it's hard to deny when you have certain facts and like that. I mean, God, that makes sense,
right? I mean, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I know, and you don't belong to the Flat Earth Society, right?
The Flat Earth Society is a government-controlled disinformation site to make you never see reality. It's to gatekeep your mind and get you to think that Flat Earth is the most ridiculous thing ever. They want you to believe that the Flat Earth is a disk floating in space with a bunch of other round planets. They want you to believe nonsense. They want you to believe that the Earth is rising at 9.8 meters per second. People that think Flat Earthers believe the Flat Earth Society stuff. We don't believe any of that stuff. Only ballers, you guys are ballers, just so you know, no offense, that they think Flat Earth, what we think is ridiculous, because it is ridiculous. We don't think that stuff. The Earth is like a big pond, right? A big pond. And it's surrounded, all of the continents are surrounded by water, but all of the water is surrounded by land. This is the edge of a pond, not the edge of a pancake floating in space. So this is big pond. This is Antarctica. Antarctica is likely bigger than all of the continents and all of the oceans combined. It's not an island or a continent at the bottom of a spinning ball. It is the shoreline that surrounds the world ocean. There's no ice wall. It's the ice shoreline. What's out here? We don't know because nobody's allowed to go there.
So we're just a bunch of islands.
We're just a bunch of islands on a flat lake. Large bodies of water at rest, lay flat, period. We can see too far. You can't have curved water, sea level, not sea curve. Airplanes fly over the earth plane in a straight and level path. If the Earth was curved, why doesn't an airplane just fly off into space? It would have to nose down, right? In the course of an hour, an airplane flying at 500 miles an hour, there would be a 30-mile drop, 30 miles, right? So the plane would have to nose down on an average of a mile every 2 minutes. You notice when you're on an airplane, you're dozing off, sleeping, beautiful flight, and half an hour before the airport, the pilot just starts going down very slowly, not a mile every 2 minutes, right? He just starts nosing down a little bit. You wake up, you're like, whoa, we're changing directions, right?
Right.
That's not what happens when you're flying. You're flying straight level over an earth plane. How does a plane land in Ecuador on a runway that's facing north-south That runway is moving sideways at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Can we go back to the last
Go ahead.
slide?
Which one?
The Antarctica one, the big ass like beach Antarctica.
Oh yeah, the lake.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
the
lake.
pond or whatever.
Can we see the lake again? The Earth Lake.
The Earth Lake.
I only can show that once.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
No, I can show it again.
Oh,
What about this?
Okay,
This
cool.
is where we live, and maybe beyond Antarctica, there's
Okay.
more oceans with extra territory, extraterrestrials.
But is that still flat?
This is a flat lake. We're looking straight down at
Okay.
a flat plain, and this is a pond. This is more water. This is all flat and level, right? Or, here you go. Or maybe it's just one pond. We don't know because nobody's allowed beyond this pink line.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's either or?
No, it could. I mean, so we know what's here in
Right.
our world. We know we have flat water. We know we can see too far. We know NASA tells us that space is a vacuum and we're in a pressurized system. Well, you can't have a vacuum next to a pressurized system without a physical barrier, right?
Right.
I don't believe space is a vacuum, though.
Okay.
And so what's out here? Maybe there's other oceans. There's stories about, travelers that went out there in the 1600s and found other land, right? Maybe there's like little gates where we can go through at certain times of the year to get out to these extra territories.
Right. So I mean, how did you come up with these theories? I mean, was this information passed down to you? Were you doing your own investigation? Was this?
No. I was dragged into this kicking and screaming. People started throwing flat Earth stuff at me. I did a podcast on conspiracies. And they're like, you got to look into flat Earth. And I don't want to look at that. It's the dumbest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
And then I was forced to look. And I said, I'm going to prove it wrong. I went in with a closed mind. I'm going to prove flat Earth wrong. I'm prove the globe. And all of you retards are going to have to leave me alone. And then that's how you become a flat earther. Here's a map, a Japanese map that was found, I think, in Hawaii, showing a crap ton of other continents beyond Antarctica.
Right. Yeah, that is very interesting.
Did we just open a big ass fucking can, Mario? We fucking started a conspiracy podcast. We got David Weiss on here, which has now led us down the fucking rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah,
and
we're-
we're about to
we're-
become fucking flat
So-
earthers.
You are flat earthers. Listen to this.
I'm still a ball.
you definitely need a lot of oxygen, so keep those masks down.
Okay. All right.
So
go for it. Shoot it.
I did a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. We were looking into all conspiracy. That was a conspiracy podcast. When I found out about the flat Earth, it changed everything. It actually blew up that podcast. Now I have the Flat Earth podcast because this is the most important thing at all. I mean, if they can convince us that we are spinning out of control, flying through an infinite universe, they can convince us that if you walk within 6 feet of somebody that's healthy, you're going to die.
So you think the whole COVID, that's all conspiracy, and that's obviously all...
So what facts do you have on COVID? Do you know what the PCR test is? Do you know that the guy that invented the PCR test said Fauci's an idiot, doesn't know what he's talking about, and that test should never be used to diagnose any disease?
Oh, is that the one? Is that the one where he's saying no matter how many times you take that test, you'll still come out positive, even if you have like a cold or anything?
He talks about amplifying it. You can find anything in anybody.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
meant to find disease. And then also, the alleged COVID never passed what's called Cox postulate, if I'm saying that right, which is you have to identify it, you have to isolate it, and you have to prove that it causes disease. It never passed any of those, right? It's equivalent to when your body is under stress and it's detoxing, it releases little particles that are called exosomes. Well, modern science, modern medicine calls them viruses, right? It's actually your body detoxing and cleaning itself and making itself healthier. So it's equivalent to going to watch a house fire. And you go, every time I go to a house fire, there's fire engines. Therefore, fire engines are the cause of house fires. It's the same logic. It's idiotic. And, if you look, if you're watching the mainstream media, you'll be hypnotized into believing all sorts of nonsense. Hospitals are overflowing. None of that's true, right? More people die every year of other then in 2020 less people died than the previous 2 or 3 years. Okay, that they're fudging all the numbers. The flu disappeared this year, first time ever.
Yeah.
Right? Heart disease almost gone this year. Everyone's dying of COVID. They're just putting everyone in the COVID column,
Right.
because when you die of COVID, the hospital gets like 70 grand or something per person.
Right, because I was seeing something. I forgot who it was. I think it was Tony Robbins that he was talking about.
He said
that.
it.
Yeah,
He did.
that 2020 numbers of death didn't surpass 2019, 2018. That it was all the same. But the only thing that did change was, like you were saying, the flu disappeared, heart attacks disappeared. Everyone was
Yeah.
just dying of COVID. I did see something about that.
Right. You have a greater chance of dying of almost anything else than COVID. The average age of death of COVID is like 82 or something. And the average age of death of a regular person is 79. So if you get COVID, you'll live 3 years longer on average. It's nonsense. These people that are dying have 2 or 3 comorbidities that they were going to die of anyway. They're in hospice. They're not getting, they're loaded with cancer, whatever. They're dying of these things and being listed as COVID. They're saying the hospitals are overrun, but the nurses are doing TikTok dances. It's insanity what's going on. Right. The hospitals, all the floors are closed except one floor. Right. And if you look, I was talking to a nurse just the other day. She said that they have 6 people in their ICU on ventilators, and they have another half a dozen or a dozen or so in ICU. And I said, what was it like previous years? And she goes, there was more. We had more.
Yeah.
These are just respiratory issues that people are having.
Right.
So is there something going around? Maybe there's a bad flu this year. Maybe it was genetically manipulated. Maybe it was just natural. Maybe it's because people are panicking. They're at home. They're not touching, smiling, kissing each other. They're in financial fear. They're in fear of their lives, of their finances, and that fear is what's going to kill you. That's how they're controlling us with the flat Earth. By hiding the flat Earth, they have us believing that we're spinning out of control, flying through an infinite universe, right? Where an asteroid could take us out at any time. Then you watch the news, you're in fear from the COVID nonsense. You're in fear. Every time you hear the word Kim Jong-un, you're thinking nuclear bombs are going to blow us up. Kim Jong-un is not the leader of anything. He's a retarded guy from an institution that they get to clap in front of a green screen and they make it look like he's leading a friggin' army.
Yeah.
He's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? It's all nonsense. Nuclear bombs are nonsense. Global warming is nonsense. COVID is nonsense. They are controlling your mind.
Well, we're gonna have to get Bill Nye on here.
Cartoons.
Now, let me ask, with everything and all the research you've done and all the facts that you have, why do you think or speculate or come across why the lies?
I kind of said that it's all about control. They want to control us. They want us to, they want to be the rulers of the world and have us be their serfs. Right now, they're pushing for a one world government, where we are on universal basic income and we are the slaves to their system. They're going to be the super elite and we're going to be the serfs if people don't wake up and do something. That's why I'm waking people up to this, because even if we get our freedom back, how long can we keep it if you think you're living in a spinning ball flying through an infinite universe? It's insane.
Well, hold on. What's the relevancy to whether we're on a flat Earth or a ball have to do with if we're going to be controlled or not?
It's not the shape of the planet. It's the fact that if you believe that you're spinning out of control in space, that you're insignificant in a godless universe or a distant God universe, living in fear, you will give up your rights for someone to protect you. The government to protect you. The government is mind control. Govern is to control. Ment is the mind. Right? It's literally mind control. No, they don't want you knowing that you are at the center of creation, that you are a divine presence, you're a divine human having a life here, and that nobody has power over you. The only reason that you're obeying government rules is because you believe that they can tell you what to do. It's just because you believe it. And then if you believe something, belief is the enemy of knowing. If you're living in fear, you might do those stupid things that they tell you what to do. It's insane what's going on in this world right now, and people need to really wake up.
Not gonna lie, I'm always afraid of everything, and I say that shit every fucking week. You're absolutely right.
But what if this world was a super safe place? What if there was no such thing as terrorists? What if nuclear bombs didn't exist? What if the global warming was horseshit? What if there's no food shortage? There's no energy shortage. There's no nothing. There's no chance an asteroid could ever hit us. There's nothing. The only thing you should be afraid of is the government. That's the only thing. And you don't even need to be afraid, because we are the many, they are the nothing, if we really get our head in our place, right? The government's power over you is equivalent to what money is. Money is nothing other than a belief system. Right. Money is good to light a fire with. That's the only true value that it has. But somebody will trade you a sandwich for a $10 bill. So you'll trade them, and it works because people have a belief in money. Money has zero value other than a belief.
That makes sense, and that better be one goddamn good sandwich for $10, bro. I'm just saying, like, you know, the thing.
Watch how much a sandwich is going to cost at the end of this year.
Yeah, but don't you think without any like, don't you think that we need some sort of control? Because I mean, with no control, I mean, wouldn't you think that it'll be anarchy? Because I mean,
that's what they want you to think. People are actually generally good. It's only when people live in fear that they become nihilistic and if that's the right word, or they become, more, selfish. Well, because they're afraid that things are going to be taken away. They're afraid of death. They're afraid of all these things. And when you're afraid, you're not a good person. When you are awake and aware, and you realize that this world is a good place and that people are good people, you're gonna help your neighbors. You're gonna be a good person, right? It's right. Just, if everybody was. We don't need government. Government does nothing for us. The roads, we don't need the government for the roads. People can build roads. Governments didn't build cell phones, right? All this technology could happen without the government.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, so you're saying like countries like, let's say, for example, Mexico, Brazil, where they have like a high crime rate because of the cartels or the gangs in Brazil. Like, you're saying that they would not exist if government had no control?
So how's the war on drugs doing? I think I'm congratulating drugs. They won the war. Okay, by the way, in Mexico, the cartel are the good people. The cops are the corrupt bad people. They're part of the government. They're putting people in jail all the time for no reason, just to extort money out of them. Mexico is not a dangerous place. The cartel are the good people. Okay, it's everything that is backwards.
Right. I mean, I've seen some beheadings.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Where'd you see it on the news? These are the people that tell you that we went to the moon. These are the people that tell you that COVID is a killer.
Well, you're absolutely right. How you're saying that the government and the cartel kind of, they work with each other.
They were saying that hospitals are being overrun. The nurses, so the news is doing an article, a story about how you can't even get in the hospital. Well, we sent people to those hospitals during the newscast, and they broke into the hospitals, and they're empty. There's nobody in there. Hospitals are more empty than they've ever been in the history of hospitals. It's all nonsense. It's incredible. And more people are dying from not getting needed surgeries, not getting cancer dealt with, not dealing with, other health problems.
Right.
Which hospitals are these that are full?
All the hospitals. There's no, like the hospital in New York where they said that they were, they had to put the bodies in trucks, frozen trucks. A lie. It's all a lie.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, I have family, I have friends all in the health industry. All of them are working double shifts. All of them come home exhausted. Some of them don't even get to see their families because of the fact that, this whole COVID thing, it's killed many people. It's killed.
How many people do you know that died of COVID?
I can count on 3-4 hands that have died of COVID. That were healthy prior.
Did they die of COVID?
Yes.
Did you look at the real? I mean, how old were they? Did they have any underlying problems? People die all the time.
People die all the time.
People die
yes.
of many things all the time, but people aren't dying of heart attacks, aren't dying of strokes. They're dying of fear. People get diagnosed with cancer and die, and then they find out they never had cancer because the fear kills them. Your thoughts create your health. And when you're living in fear like that, it'll kill you. If the government wanted you to be healthy, they'd say, go outside, go put your feet in the sand at the beach, get some sun. But instead they're saying, stay home, close your windows, and wear a mask over your face, breathing your own toxins. You know, Fauci did a paper on the 1920 Spanish flu that said most people died from bacterial pneumonia from wearing a face mask. He wrote a paper on it.
Who was this again? I'm sorry.
Dr. Fauci.
The main guy who's the main dude for all this stuff.
Dr. Fraudsty.
We want to thank everyone logging in, commenting. We see everyone's chats. The chat room is blowing up right now. Lover girls out there. Mario, be careful. Fear does kill. Trust me. I know.
Fear does kill. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it does.
We're hanging out. We're pigsing it up with David Weiss from the Flat Earth Podcast. Also from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. DITRH on YouTube. Sorry, I know I'm a little bit slow from time to time. Check that show out on YouTube, and you also have an app. Can you tell us about the app a little bit?
Yeah, the app. The app is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's on Apple and Android, and it'll basically show you how the flat Earth works, how seasons work, how everything works, and it feeds you information that you won't be able to find on YouTube.
Ooh.
I'll share it real quick and just show you what it looks like.
I want to see this.
Is it a free app? Are you charging
for it? It's not free.
It?
It's $3.
Okay.
And just read the reviews if you think it's too much. Everyone loves it. And
by the way, cigarettes and coffee is way more money than a $3 app to figure out how this stuff kind of works.
$3 app. So real quick, the sun goes around once every 24 hours. Excuse me. It laps the moon once every 28 days. So the sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The moon keeps track of the weeks and the months. You'll see it's gaining on the moon right now. There's a little crescent moon, and it's gaining on it. So it goes around. The sky is a perfect clock. It goes around once a day, the sun. So if I turn on the stars, I'll slow it down, turn on the stars are going slightly faster than the sun. So right now, the sun is in Pisces. In a few days, Aries, I think this is Aries, will catch up, and the sun will be in Aries for a month. And then Taurus, the sun will catch up. It'll catch up to the sun, and it laps the sun once a year. So that keeps track of the seasons and the years. Time zones are just where the sun is. It's noon, and if I can turn them on, where's the sun? There we go. So wherever the sun is, it's noon. So right now it's noon in Central Australia. Very simple. The sun is small and close. And now if you watch, I'll move the sun to June, and when it's in June, it's over that inner circle, which is called the Tropic of Cancer, and it's because it's closer to us, it's higher in the sky, and we have our summer in the inner north. But Australia is having their winter because the sun is farther away. 6 months later, the sun goes all the way out to the Tropic of Capricorn, and we're having our winter in the inner north because the sun is farther away. It's away lower in the sky.
So what's causing the shadow?
What's causing the shadow?
Yeah.
Well, the sun. I'll show you. I'll show you in a second when we get out of the app. So here's the challenge for people for the Bitcoin.
Go for it.
Every day there's a new video over on the bottom left there. You click it and you watch it. I say watch the video every day for 2 weeks. And then if you still think the earth is a spinning ball, come up with one proof and you win a Bitcoin. But before you do it, you have to hit the question mark and up come, hey, what about eclipses? What about seasons? I just showed you how seasons work. What about, ships over the horizon? If you click ships over the horizon, up comes all the videos that Google won't serve you, right? These are videos that you will have a very hard time finding online, and it'll show you, it'll answer all of your questions.
Oh, okay.
The app has a ton of other stuff in it, playlists in different languages, different things that could help you live a healthier life or more fun life. And there you go. It does a whole bunch of other things too. Like, hey, did we go to the moon? Here's a question for you. Did we go to the moon in this thing? Right?
Yeah.
That's made paper mache and tinfoil. Okay. There's guys
that's a
and
piñata,
a car
man.
in
That's
there.
piñata.
Are you kidding me?
It's a piñata. We went to the moon in a piñata.
Yeah. Look at the seams. The fifth graders made it and they got a D because it's horrible.
I'll tell you one thing. That thing was not built in Mexico. We could have built something better than that.
And by the way, we almost got hit by an asteroid the other day. Here's a picture of it. This is what NASA shows us. This is proof that an asteroid almost took us out.
It's graphic.
Okay. This is proof. Hey, here's a clip from a panoramic of on the moon. Ever hear of step and cut and paste, step and repeat? It's the same rock twice.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. So everything you know that you think you know is complete and total nonsense. Look at these guys, they're really happy. They just got back from the moon.
Once again, we're up here, Pigs Radio, episode 376. We're learning all kinds of new information. We're David Weiss, and now we're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to have the phone number on the screen. If you guys have questions, please call in at 909-475-7449. There's a lot of shit going on in this chat.
Really?
I'm not going to repeat a lot of this, but there is some.
You guys, I hope you got some thick skin. You might take a little bit of a beating tonight, but we love you,
No,
all right? And we care about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Zack. I don't feel like you're too on board with this.
I don't think so either. He's like really trying to fight it. Talk to me, Zack.
Are you not vibing this? You don't think this is on par with what he's saying? You don't think the facts are there?
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me how this whole thing is just like a good government like cover up.
Yeah,
because the thing is, everything else I agree with you. The government is shit. They're all they're telling us a shitload of lies. There's a whole thing with the media. I agree with you, but all of that just for the flat Earth, that doesn't make sense to me.
It's to control your mind. If everybody woke up to the flat Earth tomorrow, the government would lose total control. It would be over for them.
But just to piggyback on what Zack said, I mean, that means everyone would have to be on it. Like everyone around.
Not true. Like, let's talk about pilots. So most pilots don't know, but a lot of them do know. Like the long distance pilots in the southern, in Australia, the Qantas pilots, they all know. They talk about it amongst themselves, but they can't talk about it publicly. We interviewed a KLM pilot, and the next day, as she was telling us Earth is flat, how gyros work, how they could observe things when they're doing these long distance flights that don't work on a globe. And the next day she was grounded and eventually fired.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's, and not, the teachers that are teaching are the ones that are the best at memorizing and regurgitating the information that they're given school. If you can memorize it and regurgitate it, you can get an A and you become a teacher and get to teach it to the next generation. There's less people in on it than you think, but there's a lot of people that know, and there's more and more that know every day.
So now that we know that we're in the middle of this giant lake ocean, where a bunch of continents and then there's the Antarctica, and we can't go beyond that. So all right, great. We're not a sphere. We're not round. So as far as we don't know what the edges are, do you think it's just a massive amount of land that just keeps going? Do you think are we on a square? Like how does the land kind of, do you think?
I don't know. How does it terminate? How does space terminate? In the heliocentric model, space is infinite. Maybe we live on an infinite plane and we're just living in one section of it. We don't know what's beyond Antarctica because nobody is allowed to go there, except some of the elites seem to be going there.
Yeah. Ooh. Would you still be open to the sphere theory, or you're just completely done with it and you absolutely 100% know that we're not in a sphere?
If you said, Dave, I got 2 envelopes. One of them has 500 Bitcoins in it, and the other one has $1 in it. And if you guess the right answer, the Earth is a sphere, you get the Bitcoin wallet if you're right. And if you guess that the Earth is flat, you get the $1 that has a wallet in it. I'm going to guess the $1 wallet one because I don't want to waste the $1 because I know it's not a sphere. So I am open to somebody proving that the Earth is a sphere, but I don't expect it. I'm willing to look,
right?
Because I changed my mind. I was just like you guys, 100% on.
Yeah.
The Earth is a ball, and I was able to change my mind based on new information.
Now, have you challenged? Because there's a lot of flat Earth debunkers on YouTube. I'm sure you've seen them all.
Yeah.
There's a couple
they're
of
all
actual.
idiots. They're all complete morons, and the arguments they come up with are pathetic. And most of the time, they end up proving the Earth is a globe. Like there's one guy that he I don't even want to say his name, but basically he was talking about how you can watch the sunset, and then he could raise his drone up in the air, and he could see the sunset again. Well, I show you exactly how that works on a flat Earth. It makes perfect sense on a flat Earth. It makes a little sense on a globe.
Have you thrown out any challenges to these guys? Like, have you reached out to them?
These guys, these professional shills that that work for NASA or whoever they work for, you can't teach them anything. They just make up stuff. It's the dumbest things. I don't waste my time.
Oh, okay.
But we want people like Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye, the lion guy with the bow tie. They say the science is settled. Oh, that's not science.
Yeah.
Science says so. So that's it.
I like that episode of It's Always Sunny. What's his name? Matt comes out. Science is a bitch sometimes.
Science is a liar.
There it is. Science is a liar.
Yeah. We have that in lots of our videos because they always tell us what's going on. Obama mentioned flat Earth a half a dozen times in his speeches. Okay? It's all about mind control.
Wow.
That's crazy.
We're hanging out here, Pigs right on a Wednesday, hump day. You know what? I kind of like doing the pigs during the middle of the week. Like,
yeah, man.
It's kind of not right and dirty, but it's good.
Let's test your planetary knowledge.
All right.
What planet is that?
That's Jupiter.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So it's so easy for NASA to fool us. That's actually a meadow with ducks in it.
Damn, okay? Duck planet.
Well, still Jupiter to me.
What I'm showing you is that's not NASA. That's just me tricking you, and I'm just showing how easily we are fooled. And people say, "Well, what about the live stream from the space station?" Well, here's a question. This is obviously from the space station. Where's the land?
I don't know. I can't see through all the
clouds or
through that thick layer of smog that LA is producing.
Or maybe it was done with zero budget in somebody's front yard and we just turned it upside down.
Oh, shit. Look at that,
so what I'm showing is they can fool us so easily.
Yeah.
People, people want to, look at this. This is 40,000 pounds of steel falling through the sky. Or is that a balloon?
That's steel.
How come it's not falling? See how fast that guy fell? That's Felix Baum.
Is that the dude from Red Bull?
Yeah, it's
the Red Bull guy.
The Red Bull guy, yeah.
How come this isn't falling like he fell? Look at this thing. This is a blimp. That was a blimp. Right? Here's a sunset in Africa on the high plains, super clear day, super sped up. Is it going down or is it going away?
I think Paul McCartney's making it sing it away.
It's going away.
Wait. So you're saying? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
What he's saying is the Beatles suck. They scared the sun away.
But when it's setting, like when you're at the beach, it doesn't look like it's.
It looks like it sets from the bottom up. You're absolutely right, but that's due to perspective. And the way that works is, the cloud deck. And when there's no clouds, it doesn't matter. Over 50, 100 miles, maybe 200 miles, the air becomes dense. It becomes, I call it the atmospheric deck of opacity. Sounds crazy, but it is what it is. And when the sun is moving away, I added these clouds. So these clouds look like they're lower, but they're just merging with the horizon. The clouds will merge with the horizon just at like 25 miles away. The sun is just going beyond it, and it looks like it's setting from the bottom up. It's just going beyond it. When it resets, watch, you'll see it. When it's going by this one, it's not dropping below it. It's just going beyond it. So it looks like it's setting from the bottom up. Well, this one's merged with the horizon. When I'm looking at clouds over my head, they're way over my head, 5,000 to 10,000 feet, whatever they are. But when I look at New York City from Connecticut, the clouds look like they're touching the water. They literally merge. So the sun is higher than it. And as the sun goes away, it sets just like that. Bam.
Right. Yeah. See, no,
Didn't go down. It just went away.
Right. No. Yeah. I see what you're. So I mean, what about? Didn't we just do something in Mars? Didn't we just get some images from Mars or something like that?
Oh yeah. So you know what? That's a hard one for me because this is what we saw when they went to Mars, and it's really hard to deny this as evidence that we just landed a rover on Mars. This is what they showed when we were landing on Mars.
Yeah.
Watch, it gets very interesting. Look at these people; they're very serious. They're straight out of space camp. And this is absolute proof that we have a rover on Mars. Don't you agree?
I mean, you're being sarcastic, right?
Good job, Wops.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a camera up there, so it's not like we're going to be able to live feed this.
Yeah.
So they're watching a simulation.
Right.
So all of these people, they're watching this. Here's the question. So the whole world is watching. Kids in school, they got monitors in their room and they're watching. And you have these people in mission control watching. Look very serious. They all have, they're all double masked up, and they're watching this. My question to you is, they're going to get ready. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to land, and they're going to high five each other. Look, this is another thing. Mars has 1% of less than 1%. I'm rounding up, 1% of the atmosphere. Well, a helicopter can't fly over 10,000 feet because the air is too thin, right? Parachutes won't open, right? But this thing was being lowered down by a helicopter. That would be equivalent to a helicopter flying at 150,000 feet. We can't even get helium balloons up that high, okay? So how did the helicopter fly? How did the parachute open? What were they watching? What if the data came back and said it crashed? Do they have a video of it crashing? Right?
Nah, you kind of lost me with the whole parachute and the helicopter.
Because of the air
the
density.
parachute won't open. Like
Right.
they had a guy, parachuted from like 80,000 feet, and his parachute didn't open until
Right.
like 50,000 feet.
Right.
Right? Because the air is too thin. Well, a helicopter can't even fly that high. How did that parachute open? Look, if it crashed, did they have a video of it crashing, an animation? This is a stage show. This is a bunch of liars or dupes that are just watching data. There was an interview with.
Oh, that was real.
No, I hated that.
Right. And by the way, this is Mars through a super zoom lens. This is not, Mars isn't a ball, a rock, a ball flying through space. It's an energetic source here within the Earth. If you look here, this is a picture from the first rover. You can tell because the rover's in the picture. Well, this is Greenland. Okay. It's the same image, right?
I mean, is that hold on, go back. Was that actually an image that NASA or
This
SpaceX
is a
put out?
NASA image. This was from their website.
And where'd you get that one
This
from?
is Greenland. Now the ballers will say somebody just went in and colorized it. That's the opposite of the truth.
That's what I would say.
This is a picture NASA gave us, and this is a picture of Greenland. Right? Here's another one. Okay. Now this one, I don't know. I can't verify if this is actually from NASA. I don't think it is. I think someone just took a picture and then just turned it into Mars, showing you how easy it is to do it. Okay. This is just someone just took the picture and made it a sepia tone, made it look like Mars.
Yeah, but also if you want to debunk it, why wouldn't they have actual people in that location saying like, "Look, I'm here," or
Are you
or a
doubting
video-
that this is Devon Island? This
No,
is Earth.
I'm not. I'm just saying, why wouldn't they? I mean, because
They want it to look like Mars. They want it to say, "Hey, look, I mean, you could put somebody, whoever did it, go stand there and take a picture yourself."
Well, are we doubting that?
You know what I used to think was the coolest thing? We were told that because of the spin of the Earth, the water bulges at the equator 14 miles high. I used to think that's so cool. Centrifugal force. We're spinning. It makes sense. The water bulges 14 miles high. Well, the Maldives Islands are on the equator, and their islands are literally, their elevation is like a foot off the water, right? So the tide is less than a foot there, okay? The Maldives Islands are literally almost level with the surface of the water. How's there a 14-mile bulge, okay, of water? And if there was a 14-mile high bulge, when you're flying from the north, like North America, to South America, at what point do you triple your altitude just to skim over a bulge of water? And the answer is never, because water lays flat, airplanes fly level.
Yeah.
Right? Every single thing, and they're mocking us. Here is the new Space Command, right? This is our emblem. What does it look like? Does it look like Starfleet Command? They're mocking us.
I do like me some good Star Trek though.
It's
a cool.
You know what? I'm with you. I like some good Star Trek too. It's ruined now.
Look, Zach, I don't know. You're not so the facts and the things that he's saying. Like, hey, look, it can make you question for sure. I mean, it kind of makes sense, different perspective
Right.
on how things are being said and
right.
the
No, I
way
understand that. Yeah,
the way things are
100%.
being put. And you know, what if all this shit is all a fucking lie? These conspiracy theories that are out there are very interesting. They definitely have awoken certain senses on me. I do live in fear. Everything that is being said can be questioned, and it's very interesting. And you either have the hardcore people that believe one way, and you have the hardcore people that believe the other way, and you just have everything else that are stoners that just don't give a shit about anything. And just
Belief is the enemy of knowing. Every past civilization culture has had a flat earth cosmology, except this one religious, zealot group called NASA. Okay. They're lying about everything. I interviewed a woman, 102 years old, in last year, in February 2020, and she told me that and we weren't talking about flat Earth. I asked her. She had such a great memory. I asked her what they taught her in elementary school about the Earth, and she said they taught me the Earth was flat. We found other people. We found newspaper articles about teachers being persecuted for trying to teach heliocentrism. This deception is just a year, it's like 100 years. But history repeats itself. In 2020, look what we're going through now. Do you know what was going on in 1920?
What?
1920, we had the Spanish flu. All of our guys were coming back from war, and they're like, these guys are sick from being in these foreign lands. Well, no, they were sick from all the vaccines that they got. And they said everyone needed to wear a mask and everyone needed to get vaccinated. And then there was a massive die-off. Okay, that's 1920. 1820, cholera. 1720, the plague. Every 100 years, they repeat the same bullshit.
Oh, shit.
Right? And people just fall for it.
Yeah.
fuck.
So that map again, the one that's at the my bottom right there on the screen, you said they found that in Japan somewhere?
I think they found it in Hawaii, but
in
it was
Hawaii.
a Japanese map.
Okay. But how did they determine that that's how many years old?
You know what? It was in a newspaper, and I don't know the whole story behind it, but it's interesting. But again, anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica we don't have any proof of any of it. So it makes a hell of a lot more sense than, aliens coming from distant planets. I mean, the distance to the closest star is 25 trillion miles. That's the closest one, right? Do you know how far, how big the number a trillion is? You guys guess, how long is 1 trillion seconds?
1 trillion? I don't know. I'm not even gonna guess.
Take a guess.
Yeah, nah,
If you guess it within a day, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
fucking 2 years.
All right. Anybody else?
I'm going to say 500 years.
Anyone else?
Zach.
I don't want to do math right now. I'm not even going to try.
It's ready.
Yeah.
1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years.
I was close.
The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. Poppycock. Nonsense.
Poppycock.
So
Poppycock.
as far as like all these conspiracy theories and kind of touching on a little bit, I know we're touching about like flat Earth and possibly realms within realms and who knows what's on the outside. So kind of touching on all this and nearest stars. Do you think about extracurricular activities, aliens,
Extraterrestrial?
there you go. I don't know how that fucking I gotta fuck that up.
So are they coming from 25 trillion miles away, right? So if they're going 25 miles a second,
What do they call
it would only
wormholes?
take them 31,000 years to get here. That's amazing. Okay. Or are they coming from 10,000 miles away across the Earth plane where there's plenty of air, light, warmth, fuel, whatever they need, right? This is extra terra, extra land. They're telling us with the words that they use, right? They're extraterrestrials come from the extra land, the extra terra
So it's
on
the-
Earth. That's
So
it.
we live.
And guess
so
what?
We live with
Out here, is the outer space.
It's kind of like the
Wait, outer space.
What's beyond Antarctica? The outer space.
Oh,
like,
I see.
I'm inside my house, and outside my yard is the outer space beyond the walls of my house.
kind of like the Game of Thrones. If you go beyond, you get to the what do they call the frostbites or?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
It's kind of
I didn't watch. Sorry.
You go
Maybe
beyond
we're
the snow.
within a dome, and there's another dome over the next outer space, and another dome over the next outer space, right? So this is out here. Maybe there's another sun and a moon out here. Maybe the sun and moon are called Mars and Venus, right?
Oh, okay.
Venus has phases like our moon. Mars is pretty damn bright if you look at it.
So that's kind of like the planetarium thing, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
The world is like a planetarium. You go watch the True Man show.
Yeah. The movie with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Once again,
just
we're
to show you how NASA's lying. This is these lying astronauts. This guy's playing his guitar, and they're not even in the same room. This is all done with green screens. But the other guy that's holding the microphone misplaced where he was, and he stuck the microphone right into his neck. The microphone is inside his neck. Okay? It's because it's all CGI, green screen nonsense. And when they told him what was going on, he like panicked, and this whole thing happened, and then they kind of just ignored it and never addressed it. But the video is no longer on their website, and they're faking everything about space. This is the only astronaut that thinks he went to the space because he's actually retarded. His name's Don Pettit, and he's drinking coffee in a plastic bag. He's showing how it sticks in there. He finished drinking it, and while it's floating away, oops, the coffee got out of sync with the bag, and it came out of the bag.
Yeah.
Just for a second, right? I'll zoom in.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's all
I
fake.
hate when that
Everything
happens.
we're watching is fake. You catch them faking one thing. We didn't go to the moon. Goes all the way back to that. So people say, well, what difference does it make? Do you like, having a third of your money taken and given to the government so they can fund NASA and other things?
I don't like people just taking my money in general. Fuck that.
Yeah, and all of by the way, all of your money goes to the Federal Reserve to pay the interest on the fake money that they created. The Federal Reserve it's a private bank. It has nothing to do with our government, other than they create the money and run our government.
I'm even more scared in
man.
the beginning and than ever with all this other extra curricular activities that we're being a part of. But holy shit, Zach, I see it in your eyes. You're not on board with it, but I can tell you, I don't know, man. I'm not saying 100% a flat earther, but I'm questioning. I'm starting to be woken a little bit.
So here, you're not 100% a flat earther. Give me one reason you think you live on a ball, other than they told me.
You know what? I just know that I live in Compton, California, and Compton don't look like it curves because then Bullet don't curves around here at all. So as far as I'm concerned, as for where I live and everything else, and where I've traveled, straight lines, straight roads, no curvatures where I see. So I mean,
right?
It
just this is what gets you when someone says, I still believe it's a globe. Just ask yourself for one reason, and after a couple of days, you'll give up. You're like, there are none. There's no proof of the globe. People say, Dave, you made a lot of sense, but I don't believe it. It's too crazy. Too many people would have to be in it. I can't imagine. Well, I can't imagine is a spell that you just cast on yourself that says you can't imagine. You're locking yourself out of knowing.
Right.
So what's one proof you live on a globe? Just one. Come up with one, and I could give this up. I won't have to do this anymore. Just one.
But if you don't do this, what's going to happen to the website and to the YouTube? And then it's only going to be just conspiracy. We can't give this up.
Yeah.
It's fucking real.
You guys need to rebrand yourself as a Flat Earth podcast and go out and start waking people up.
You know what? Doing the conspiracy season once again. Thank you everyone for logging into the chats. There's a lot of shit going on in there. Shout out to Hazy Chaos of the Scary Encounters podcast. We see you. They're logged on, and they birthed this. And the conspiracy theories is crazy. It's scary. It's eye opening. It's all kinds of things, and I can tell you one thing: I'm stimulated right now.
Yeah, man.
Feel these nipples.
I'll stimulate you.
Look, man.
Yeah.
Look, I'm open to the idea, but the same way you're saying, give me a reason why the Earth is a sphere. I mean, you could also control someone by telling them the Earth is flat. They just don't have to give you the details. So
It's
guys,
that's not true. What you realize is
because at one point in our society, we thought the Earth was flat, and then it changed to being a sphere.
At all points in our society, in the 1920s and 30s is when they changed it, right? The belief that we've known it was a ball for 500 years is a lie. You know the story of Aristophanes? He's the Greek philosopher, the mathematician that figured out with sticks and shadows, right? You know the story?
Don't know the story, but I've heard the name.
Our fans don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Aristophanes, he realized that, hey, when the sun is overhead in Said or whatever, because he can see the sun at the bottom of a well, and his friend 500 miles away, he put a stick up, and that stick had a shadow. The only way that works is if he's on a ball, right? And so this was pushed forward by Carl Sagan in the show Cosmos, and the whole world bought it. It was like, that makes sense. He says it could only work on a ball. So here's Aristophanes, and there's no shadow on his stick here. And his friend that has a plumb line straight up stick, well, there's a shadow. You can do math and figure out the angle to the center of this ball and figure out the size. And he figured it out within 2% of the actual size of the Earth. And that this is the story that's been taught in all schools. And this is like used to be one of the number one proofs. But on a flat Earth with a small local sun, no shadow, you can do the same math and figure out the sphericity of this completely flat surface, right? We don't live in a math equation. The false assumption was that all of the sun rays come in straight, parallel, because the sun is so far away. Why would Aristophanes think sun rays come in straight when we've never seen straight sun rays? We never see straight sun rays. They're always coming like this. That's because the sun is close and small and right above the clouds.
Right above the clouds.
Well, again, the sun is in an apparent position, and I have videos showing in the app showing how we all see it in a different position. Like if two of us were standing 50 feet apart looking at a giant mirror and the sun was behind us, right? And we had a third person walk up to the mirror, and I say, you draw a circle right there on the mirror, that's where I see the sun. He's going to walk over 50 feet to you, and he's going to draw a different circle on that mirror. We're both seeing the sun in a different position. It's because the sun that we see is more best way I describe it is it's a reflection.
There's a lot of things, man. A lot of things.
What are what's our chat saying, Mario? I want to hear some of their thoughts. I want to hear where we're at.
You want to take any calls?
Yeah, let's take some calls.
The phone lines are open. I don't know if people are too scared to call in, but they can call in right now at 909-475-7449. That's 909-475-7449. Pigs.
What are some of the questions people are asking on there?
There's a lot of either hate for not believing or, a lot of hate towards Zack today for
listen.
Fee Viking.
Everybody has their journey. Guys, everyone be nice. We were you at one point.
Right.
We were you. But after doing the work, here's another thing. There's a book, 16 Emergency Landings Prove Flat Earth. All long-distance flight routes are controlled by who? By NASA. Okay? NASA, the liars. So here's a flight from Taiwan to LA. And this is where it's going. Here's Hawaii out here. And right about here, there was an emergency. Somebody needed to go to the hospital. Is that too much? You guys still there?
Yeah. We're looking.
Somebody needed to go to the hospital. If you're the pilot, where would you land?
Hawaii.
Yeah, makes sense. Or maybe even go here. But instead, they went all the way up to Alaska, thousands of miles out of the way. Why did they do that? Because the truth is, this is the map of the Earth. Taiwan, emergency, Alaska. Right there. Hawaii is all the way out here. We're out here somewhere. Okay? This is the true map. This is the path the plane was going. They're lying about everything.
I mean, they have 10 different maps depending on what you're looking for, because they have it for size to making it round so it's proportionate.
Right, and
what
he's showing his map.
No,
and-
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's
I'm
why.
showing you that every emergency landing makes perfect sense on the flat Earth map. It makes no sense on the ball map.
especially right now,
If you read that book, 16 emergency landings, it shows you the exact details, where they went out of the way, and what it looks like on a flat Earth map. It's pretty compelling stuff. Here's the thing: belief is the enemy of knowing. Where do I live, guys?
Connecticut. Door.
Do you know that for a fact?
No, you just told me.
Yeah.
You don't live in Connecticut.
Yeah, I do live in Connecticut.
Okay.
And it's good
I
to
don't
trust
believe you.
people, but you're trusting NASA. I showed you that NASA's lying. I showed you NASA's lying once. They're lying about everything.
Fucking liars.
Yeah, it could be, absolutely. I mean, anybody could be lying to us, but I mean,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
100%. That's
You
the
know,
thing.
You ever watch the astronauts with the women? Why are they letting women on the space station with long hair? This is a 0G plane. This is what your hair does in 0G. It's all over the place. But when you watch NASA, their hair is sticking. It's literally frozen. It's hairsprayed, right? And why would they let a woman with long hair on the space station, a sterile environment where they don't even let women with long hair in an army tent?
Wobbs, you look stumped right now, bro. Like,
I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I don't know.
I have nothing to say because I don't know if either one of those are facts. I couldn't tell you either way.
right.
Just like if we go back to the pictures of Mars versus Greenland, I don't know if that's fucking Greenland. I don't know if that's Mars.
Right.
There's no way to prove either one because one, I wasn't there. Two,
Well,
who the
one,
fuck
you
was
could
it?
look at the picture from NASA's website, and then there's different things that you can do to, prove things. But the stuff from NASA is very difficult you can't prove any of it. I mean, they say the sun is 93 million miles away. You know how they figured that out?
How?
One day, Venus, which is about the same size as Earth, transited the sun. And they had people observe it from the East Coast and the West Coast, and they timed it, and it started and ended at different times for both. And then they did a whole bunch of math, like Aristophanes did, and they determined that the sun is 93 million miles away by knowing the distance to Venus and the size of Venus. Well, guess what? Who knows the distance of Venus and the size? They think it's the size of Earth. I say it's the size of a basketball. You can't prove me wrong, as you can't prove them wrong either. So it's all pseudoscience, all of it. If you're doing an equation and you have one made up number in that equation, the entire equation is invalid.
Right.
The math might be sound, but it's based on a false premise. And the premise is that Venus is the size of Earth.
Right.
Well, we got a lot of people on the chats. They're backing it up. Lover Girl says flat. Let's see. Liz Vampire Mermaids with Zack. Robert Page, it's flat. So, I mean, it's the Pigsney versus divided. You got some that still believe it's round. You got some that believe it's flat. We got some flat earthers on there, and I'm gonna say you can't. Flat Earth Dave is making sense.
If the chat is filled with flat earthers, that doesn't make them right. Consensus is not science. Right?
Right.
You have to look at the facts yourself. These people have looked at the facts.
Right. So I was gonna ask you. So what would you suggest? Like us that are we're non-believers that the Earth is flat, right? I mean, I don't believe the Earth is flat. Do you? Obviously, Zack doesn't. So what would you say?
Are you a believer? I'm starting. I'm starting
you're more
to believe
leaning
a
on the
little
flat
bit.
Earth. Okay.
Yeah, because the shit that he's saying, the way that the Earth, the sun is moving, that's making sense. Like, okay.
I mean, but I'm sure if we had Neil deGrasse Tyson on the show as well, he would spit some knowledge too. So what would you?
You're not sure. You're not sure that he would spit a bunch of bullshit that's easily debunkable.
Well, but
is he dropped a microphone on the fucking Jimmy Kimmel show or whatever, right? That's bullshit. That's buoyancy and density, right? That has nothing to do with gravity.
Oh, so you're denying gravity as well?
Yeah. So on the app, there's a great video. It's the top video in the "What About Gravity" button. But maybe I have something here. The Earth is the only true forces here are buoyancy and density, electric and magnetic forces. right? So the Earth has a negative charge to it. And when you leave the Earth, you become positively charged because there's voltage in the air. There's 100 volts at 1 meter, there's 200 volts at 2 meters, and it keeps going up, right? So that positively charged is attracted to the negative charge of the unmoving Earth. The Earth doesn't move. So it establishes a downward direction, and it's a very weak force, just like they say gravity is, okay? So when we got a metal plate up in the sky. It's going to reset here. And we put, with a Van der Graaf generator, put a negative charge on it. When that negative charge got stronger than the Earth's negative charge, little pieces of particles that we put under here started going up. These are wood and metal and hair and all sorts of things. They would go up, pieces of paper.
Are these experiments? Are these experiments that you're doing yourself, or are these?
This is my buddy Zack did this one.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry.
And you can do it.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't have a Van der Graaf generator. He does.
Okay.
So, but you know, we're having a conference in South Carolina on the 27th of March. It's called the Solar Return Festival. It's flatearthfestivals.com, and he'll be there with his stuff showing you all of these experiments. But another one you can do yourself, and there's a million videos on YouTube. Basically, they take they make this triangle out of tinfoil, if I could find it, and they put a negative charge in it, and when they negatively charge it, boom, it goes up. Why is it going up? Why is it ignoring gravity? It's just because it's negative charge. It's negatively charged now, and it's not getting a positive charge, and it's rising up because the negative charge of the Earth can't hold it down.
Get some motherfucking positive electrons.
And then so that weak force says down is this way, right? Down is this way for me. Guys, down is this way for you. Down is this way for somebody in Australia. Down is not up. Down is down. Left and right, forward and backwards are relative, whatever direction you're facing.
Right.
But and then buoyancy and density sort everything else out. If I had a bunch of beach balls and a bunch of rocks and I threw them, over a pool, they'd all fall through the air because they're more dense. The beach ball would stay on top of the water and the rocks would go to the bottom. Buoyancy and density. But they know which way is down because of the negative charge of the Earth.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, Wops.
You're there. You're
I'm
convinced. Oh man, it's all good, Mario. I mean, it's good to be open-minded, bro. I mean, it's good to have these kind of conversations. I mean,
There was one thing that I found interesting that you guys did talk on the Talk is Jericho podcast, was the verbiage that was that NASA says, because everything that we see are imaging, or I'm sorry, is it images, photos?
Images and pictures. They never say photograph because they don't want to lie.
Yeah.
Images and pictures.
That
look
to me is interesting.
This is the friggin' Earth. Which one do you like? The America that's twice the size of the other one? Which one do you think is real?
Are both those from NASA's?
Yeah, these are both NASA images of Earth. And they admit that they're photoshopped.
Oh, really?
They admit it. Take the second one. This is something that, here's how we can verify it ourselves. We can drive across Mexico. We can take a boat that goes 20 miles an hour and time it and figure out how, without using their GPS. And then we can drive across Baja, and we know that this is 934 miles. NASA tells us the diameter of the Earth is 7,917 miles. I should be able to fit 8.5 of these segments in between these two lines. I can't fit 3 or 3.5. 8 doesn't even fit on the page.
Oh,
8.5.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
This shows you they can't even get their scale right. Here's a picture of Pluto. As a desert. Whatever. That kind of looks like the dog Pluto, if you ask me. They're mocking us.
Jesus Christ.
How would you explain a compass? A compass.
Do that already?
Yeah.
So there is no South Pole. The center of the flat Earth is the North Pole. So here we go. Here's a magnet at the center. I put the compass down and it points to the North Pole. And now if I try to go east or west, I have to keep turning because the compass has to point towards the center the whole time. So if I leave New York heading east, I have to keep turning to the left until I get back to New York. That doesn't prove the Earth is flat because it works the same way on a ball. What you can't do on a ball is head from Santiago and go underneath the bottom side. If you go try to dead reckon straight, so you leave, you're going east or west, as soon as you stop turning to correct, you're going south. Every straight line goes south, no matter what direction it's going. And now that's south, and that stick is pointing south. Every straight line becomes south.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Billions of people have circumnavigated the world east and west. Nobody's done it south to north. Nobody, except there was a Guinness Book of World Records for the first south-north circumnavigation. And, it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. So therefore, the Earth has to be a ball, right? Well, let me show you the actual path that they went, and you'll see how ridiculous it was. Here's the North Pole. They went out here to Alaska and then California and out here to these islands and then to Santiago. Then they went to Antarctica, and instead of keep on going, they turned around, came back. They went up through here and up and around, and they got the world record for south-north circumnavigation. Does that look like south-north circumnavigation to you?
No, just
Not a circle at all.
no, not a circle at all.
They just went out and around. This is what it looks like on a flat Earth map. Okay, that's all they did, and they got the world record in the Guinness Book. They did it so people's like, oh no, look, and there's a Guinness Book. It's been done. Therefore,
I'm
the
gonna have
Earth
to
is
look
a
this
ball.
up.
People don't look at any. They
Yeah.
just believe.
Yeah.
They don't look at the evidence.
Yeah, okay.
It's and they always tell us. I mean, it's like, why can't they just, they can fake it better. God, if I was in charge of their psyop, everybody would believe the Earth is a ball. I could freaking fool everybody.
I'm voting for Dave, man. Moving forward. We're hanging out here, Pigs Radio on a Wednesday. Normally we broadcast on Sunday nights at 10 p.m., but tonight, episode 376 with David Weiss, and we're getting all kinds of information. Once again, I'm joining. I think I'm going to join the dark side with Lover Girl. She said, "Come to the flat side." I don't like my chick's flat, but but flat Earth seems like pretty cool though. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
It's very interesting. I mean, thank you so much for coming on. And honestly, I mean, obviously you're prepared, more prepared than we are. I mean, I'm not someone that goes and does my homework on Earth being a sphere. That's why it's kind of like, obviously you have way more information than we do. I mean, just as easily that we're so-called fooled that the Earth is a sphere, you can fool us and tell us the Earth is flat.
No, that's different because all the stuff about the sphere is unverifiable by you. Actually, that's not true. All the stuff on NASA, but you can go, wait a minute, they say the Earth is this big. Well, here's the curvature. Oh my God, I can see too far. Well, they're lying about the curvature. What else are they lying about? So here's the thing. You have common sense. They don't want you to know that you have common sense. They want you to trade it in for nonsense because a guy is wearing a bow tie and a white lab coat. Therefore, he has to know. People say, where did you get your degree? I got my degree from common sense. Okay. The people, there are some professions. There's plenty of professions where knowledge, schooling is good. But when it comes to astronomy, it's all pseudoscience religion.
I don't know, Wops. I'm about to join, bro. It sounds legit. It sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you, Mario.
It sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah,
Round
yeah,
Earth
yeah.
don't make fucking sense.
It makes no sense. No sense. Hey, one more, and then I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
People say, why can't I see Mount Everest, right? So this is a famous spot in Illusion, France. It's you look out here, and Mount Canigou is out here, but it's 175 miles away. And if you use the globe math, the top of Mount Canigou from this viewing height should be a mile below a physical curve. So if this is the horizon, if it is a physical horizon, the top of Mount Canigou should be a mile below it. But here's the problem. The light that's bouncing off Mount Canigou can't push all the way through to your eyes at 175 miles. But the sun migrates in between the tropics, and there's 2 days a year where the sun lines up with Mount Canigou and this viewing spot. And on that day, as it goes beyond it, it starts backlighting it. And all of a sudden, You can see Mount Canigou. This very top here should be a mile below the physical curve, but we can see it. It's not an illusion. It's not refraction. It's not a mirage. It's the actual mountain. It's right there. And you can't see it when the sun is up or any other day of the year. You can only see it when it's backlit, because the sun has enough power to push through and and this is darkening the sky. So here it is in all its glory. The top should be a mile below the curve, but we can see the entire mountain.
Oh, that's crazy.
Earth is flat.
Can you explain that, Zach, the curvature?
I can't explain any of this shit. That's the thing. That's the thing. I just want to say that. Like, I'm asking questions.
Right.
Because I have an open mind.
Right.
I would like to believe this, but I would
It's
like
not
to be
about-
proved it. You know?
Yeah, well, the thing is, belief is the enemy of knowing. If you guys want to find out if I live in Connecticut, it's going to take you a few days. You got to make some calls. You got to figure it out. You probably figure it out in a couple hours. But who's going to do that? It's easier to believe.
I know some people, Dave.
I don't know. I really don't give
Yeah.
a shit
I
where
know
you
people
are,
that know
so-
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to
Yeah.
take time and effort to verify. Now, I don't want to live in a world where I don't trust anybody. I have people that I trust. Everyone in the chat, I trust every single one of them. Anything they tell me, I believe it. That's it. You have to verify. When someone lies to you, like NASA, you can't believe them anymore. If they show you something, say, show me some receipts. Give me some receipts. And they don't have any.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I agree.
You're going to see trolls that follow me from show to show to show. They'll be in the comments going, Flat Earth is a psyop. Dave Weiss is a scammer. He's just trying to sell apps, blah, 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 blah. And then just look and you'll see none of them ever give any globe proofs. I always write, is that your best proof of the globe? Because they offer no proofs of the globe. But when I look at their channels, they actually have what I call the comprehensive globe Earth proof channels. Because when you go to their channels, the people that will be commenting in your chat, like replying to everyone's comment with a nonsensical statement, their channels are empty. There's no subs, there's no content, there's no videos, there's no playlists, there's nothing, right? They have no respect for themselves because if you're gonna go troll flat earthers, at least put some proof on your channel so
Right.
someone could reference something. There's nothing. They're trolls, they're bots, they're agents.
So, Dave, let me ask: in a world where if we can get you into a legitimate space station, allegedly, and it goes up,
This
and
is a straw man argument. Yes, if you can get me into a space station, which doesn't exist, if I can turn you into Superman, would you believe that superheroes exist?
I wish you could turn it into Superman. That would be rad.
It's the same thing. It's a straw man argument. So, am I open? Sure. I told you. I'd rather take the dollar than waste my bet on winning an infinite number of Bitcoins. Right? Because I'll take the dollar.
Cool.
Once again, this was an interesting thing. I think this is barely the door just opening. I think I'm starting to like conspiracy theories.
I love it, man. I love it.
And definitely, I mean, I hope one day you're willing to come back and kind of talk about some other stuff, not necessarily about flat Earth, but we need to run wild on a bunch of other conspiracy theories. I'm sure the secret organizations, the everything else, the UFOs, the chupacabras, just everything.
Here, I'll give you guys ready for this. You wanna learn about all of the stuff you're afraid of and more?
Yes.
StopLookThink.com. StopLookThink.com.
Write it down, Guaps.
There's some featured videos on the page there. Scroll down. There's some good categories, but in the drop downs up top, there's even more stuff that's hidden up there. All of the big events, all of them broken down. The stuff that used to be on YouTube that all got removed, it's all there. And it's not theories, it's proof, evidence showing you that all of the things that you guys have been afraid of, that we've all been afraid of, they're all bullshit.
We have Super C Flores saying, Zack, stick to your guns. Trust nobody.
Yeah.
Do that shit. David Weiss.
All right, guys, my podcast is the Flat Earth Podcast. My Facebook page is the Flat Earth Podcast. My Instagram is the Flat Earth Podcast. And my YouTube channel is DITRH, just stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. And the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay. Look for this icon. And it's the best tool for learning this. Just every day while you're having your breakfast, watch the daily video. and you too will lose the respect of your friends and family.
Go ahead, download that shit. No, not only that, why don't you get on that and download our other friends app where you can listen to Pigs Radio on the local music experience. I don't know if they believe in this stuff, but I know Ray is all kinds of wild, and I'm pretty sure he'll probably believe if we tell him. So, so we're going to spread the word. Thank you, David, for hanging out with the pigs, pigsing it up on a Wednesday, Pigs Hump Day. We need to do more middays. You take yourself, take really good care, and obviously keep doing what you're doing, sir, and hopefully we get you on board again for some other conspiracy theories.
Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate your time.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, man. So, I don't know, Mario. You seem convinced, bro. You seem like that's it, bro. Yeah, you're sold.
Look,
you went deep inside the rabbit hole and you fucking liked it.
we went balls deep. I'm not gonna lie.
I can show
you know
my
what?
rabbit hole. You're on the wrong one.
I feel like we're at the tip of the iceberg, bro.
We want to thank everyone for logging in on a Wednesday. We had a good amount of people on there. Obviously, conspiracy theories, something interesting. Either you're sold or not. If you want to believe everything the news tells you, or if you don't want to believe that the news tells you, I'm kind of on board with not believing everything I see on the news, and everything gets censored, everything gets changed. You know. Yeah. I think we need to do more conspiracy podcast, Pigspiracies, a segment, something. Pigspiracies. We want to thank everyone except for Ray. We see you, Ray, fucking piece of shit from the local music experience. But download their app. Ray may be a shitty fucking guy, but he's good at heart. They won't play swine, but you can check Zack's new show, Swine Saturdays, on the local music experience app on 7 p.m. You can also check out all the most latest episodes of Pigs Radio on there. But if you're too lazy of a fuck to go to PigzRadio.com, the local music experience will be the next best thing. Plus, you can pick up all kinds of awesome local artists here from LA. So,
it's SoCal. So you got Los Angeles, Orange County, Inland Empire, and San Diego. So, a little bit more than just LA, but
SoCal best.
SoCal.
Guaps is still over here writing down his homework. He's gonna download that fucking app. What was it? Truth? What the fuck was that website called again?
It was stoplookandthink.com.
Stoplockpodcast.com.
Stoplookthink.com. Man, you know what? I love that we had that gentleman on, David Weiss. Thank you so much again. I had such a good time. I mean, I still had a bunch of questions, but I just really wanted to hear him out, man. And I'm glad I got to hear him out. I'm definitely gonna do some homework on him. And hopefully we could get him back on. And next time, I think we'll be a little bit more prepared.
I think so, too. Sometimes we hit home runs, and like FV Viking out there, not so much. He was hating on the pigs. He really hates Zack so much.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Do you know this guy?
No, I don't have absolutely
Who was that?
idea.
Who was that?
Some Fee Viking or FV Viking.
He's gatekeeping. That's all it is. He just wants to be an asshole. Fuck him, dude. That's all I got to say. Easy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's like I'm open-minded. I want to ask questions. I'm going to ask questions.
Absolutely.
If I'm having issues trying to understand, but I'm trying to, figure out these little plot holes, help me out. But because I'm asking questions, you want to be a dick, then you're not going to help someone else learn. So that's all I got to say is fuck you.
Once again, we want to thank everyone for logging in. Make sure you tune in every Sunday night, around 10 p.m.-ish. This week coming up, we do have Triple Thread, awesome SoCal reggae band coming over from... Actually, was it Ray? No, it wasn't Ray. It was actually a contact through Haley through another band called 200 West.
Yeah.
So couldn't get 200 West on here, but we're getting Triple Thread. So this Sunday, live performance, live interviews. We're going to pigsing shit up for the last 11 years. Podcast running out of the city of Compton for over 11 years. I want to thank you guys for all the support, the love. Hit that like, subscribe, bell notification. We broadcast across all your social medias, even Periscope.
Nice.
On that note... Pigs be out this bitch. We out.
And now, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, yo, DJ, stop the music. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Initiating shutdown sequence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you, I'm out.
This show may cause birth defects and/or cancer. Avoid where prohibited in the Southern Red States. Official sponsor of the Special Olympics. Not really. 2% financing available for nothing. See your official Toyota dealer for recall as penalty for not buying American. This show may cause massive amounts of marijuana consumption. This show has been a joint venture of cockballs and ass. Free salad tossing available upon request. Visit robertreese.com. Sexual relations among cousins is not incest.
Thank you.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.